Life begins at perception. At least that's the perception. I've been thinking about this in light of the fact that scientists have invented an artificial womb. And this is a major breakthrough in the effort to save the lives of infants. But the question is it life? We're troubled by the fact that science has made so much advancement that it's proving more and more that life does begin at conception. Yet we're bound, it seems, to an agenda that is flying directly in the face of scientific evidence. Layer after layer of scientific research and discovery have laid waste to this myth that human life begins when it is seen or when it is born and it is viable, or at least our perception of viability. The idea that human life is viable only if its fellow human beings have a perception of its viability is rooted in the horrific teachings of eugenics. This teaching was popularized by Margaret Sanger. But what if the perception is not a positive one? Eugenics is piggybacked off the teachings of evolution. If life is not sacred, just a series of unfortunate or fortunate events, depending on your perception, then the mistreatment, even elimination or culling of another human species that's less favorable in your eyes or less viable can be excused as necessary to the betterment of mankind. It can't be denied. It's written in blood and shame in our history, stamped by horror. Evolution was the excuse for the British Empire to parade Aboriginal people around the world in cages, shackled, and in zoos. They were not as evolved as the Europeans. They were more animal than human. At least that's what we were taught to believe. Eugenics was the impetus that spawned the eugenics certificate or the marriage license, the Holocaust, and now the American genocide of abortion. Fueled by the idea that life is not sacred before God and does not begin at conception, the gospel of eugenics has driven the butchery of mankind. Bolstered by the belief life only finds its viability in the perception of its fellow man, defying the very Almighty God who declared that all men are created, conceived equal. The youth of our nation have ignored history and its ghastly reminders, so glib in their pursuit to repeat its doom. That doom shall be a once grand republic, left another horrific marker in the annals of world butchers, because we could not conceive, even in the face of science, that our perception of life was wrong.